it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets, and I'm here with another card video for you. I actually made 5 cards today. You're going to see 4 of them in this video. The one card that I made was for a friend from high school. I made it for her mom for her birthday, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to make a video before I gave her the card, but I did take some pictures, so those will be up on Facebook after I know that she's already given her mom the card, because I know that her mom follows me, so I don't want to post it so that she might actually see it before she gets it. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to use some of the supplies that I have just sitting in my bins. I'm really trying to stop buying things, which is so difficult for me, but I have so many new things that I have that just sit in the bins because I have all these ideas when I go to buy them, but then don't do anything with them. So I thought, while I'm sitting here today creating things, I'll go through them, pull out a lot of stuff that I've never used, and come up with new projects. So everything that I'm going to show you is using products that I've never used before, at least one product that I've never used before. So the first one is this baby card right here. Let me start by telling you it's 4 by 5.5 inches are the dimensions of this card, and then the yellow card stock is 1/8 of an inch smaller than that, and then the pattern paper is 1/8 of an inch smaller than the yellow cardstock. So to create the bib, I took a piece of just plain blue cardstock that I had, and I used this Die-namics baby bib die from My Favorite Things. Ran it through my Cuttlebug, and I wanted to decorate it, but wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. So I went through my stamps because I knew I had something that had stars and moons in it. So I found this stamp called Celestial Night. I've actually used it before in another project. I don't remember what it was a really long time ago. But I thought maybe that would be too busy and a little bit too much like the background. So I decided to go a different way. And I used a Studio G stamp that says Cuter Than Most. And I probably got this at in the dollar bin from AC Moore or Michael, since it's a Studio G. Inked it up with Hero Art Shadow ink in Mid-Tone Pool, and then stamped it on there. And then I still thought that it looked a little bit plain, so what I did was I actually used another new product. It's the Lawn Fawn Stitch Journaling Card set of dies, and these 4 dies right here are like confetti. So what I did was I took the stars, and there 6 of them will cut out with one pass. I used some yellow cardstock, and the extra ones, I actually got this idea from a couple of people on YouTube, that they actually keep all of their little cutouts, like the little confetti things, in little containers like this. So I think that I'm just going to do it, put all stars in here, all hearts and other ones. This actually was a container of buttons that I got, and I believe it was from the dollar bins also at AC Moore and Michael's. So I'm going to start to keep these little confetti pieces, because I know a lot of times when things cut out, you just kind of throw them away, but it's so much, sometimes it's so much work just to die cut for 1 or 2 little pieces, but if you have some extra ones lying around, you can just add that to the card and it makes a big difference. So I added those stars to the bib, and that was the end of it. So that's the first card, and it could be for a baby shower or once a baby's born. I thought that was cute, so that'll go up on Etsy. The second card that I made, I used a stencil from a company that I've never used before. It's called Gourmet Rubber Stamps, and this one, I don't know if it's called Paw Prints CC-23, and this is what it looks like. So I took some Black Soot Distress ink and put the stencil on top of it, and this is the way the front came out. It was really cute. I'm such an animal person that when I saw this and the stamp that goes along with it, I had to get both of them. So this. And then I used that same Lawn Fawn confetti die and ran it through my machine twice with some shiny red cardstock, and just put the hearts all over the front of it, and even made some go off the edges. So I cut part of the hearts off to make it look like it was a pattern paper. And then I used these, and I don't think I've ever used these on a project before. I know, well, actually I did. I think I used these, I bought these for my sister for her, well, maybe I didn't. I used the oval ones. I was thinking for the program fans that I made for my sister, but I believe I actually used the oval ones. I didn't use the circles. So I got these standard circles, and I used circles 2 and 3 if you're going from the largest ones. I cut the second largest one out of the same red cardstock that I cut the hearts out of, and then the third largest one, I cut that from white cardstock, and then here's the inside. So I stamped it. The black stays on jet black ink, and the red is blazing red stays on ink. And this is the stamp. It's also from Gourmet Rubber Stamps, and it says, "All you need is love and a cat." So I thought that was really cute. I was trying to find a cat image that I liked. I had a bunch of cartoony looking ones, and I really didn't want that on here. I wanted it to be a little bit more of a serious one. So I just decided that the paw prints and hearts would be good enough, and then with the saying on the inside. So that's the second card that I made, and those are some more new items that I used. And then the third card that I made is this one. So I used this new Cricut die Cricut cartridge that I got. It's called Create a Friend. And if you haven't seen the new cartridges, they're not like the old ones. They actually come in a box like this. There's no overlay. You actually have to use a universal overlay. So I had to buy one of those because you can mark up. I guess you can kind of figure out if you you just use an overlay like this. Like this is my Kate's ABCs one, and it just has all the images for that specific cartridge. The new overlay, let me see if I can just grab it out of here real quick. It's a little bit different. So this is the universal overlay where it just has the function keys, and then each key here corresponds to, the number corresponds to the actual image in the book. So you do get a booklet, and it's not like, it's like half the size because you get double pages. So it's a little bit different. It took me a little bit to get used to that, but there's the universal overlay. So just, you can see the difference between the two of them. So just wanted to show you in case you guys haven't seen that. And so I did the cutouts from page 15. And I use the same colors as in the example. I like to do that the first time when I'm cutting things out, just so that I get familiar with things, because with this, the hair actually goes behind her, and then, because the hair cuts out, you can see in two different pieces. So this part goes behind her, behind the black silhouette, and then this part goes in the front. So sometimes it's just a little bit easier to do the cuts in exactly the same color so you can tell what's supposed to be where. So for what's kind of like the blackboard, I used the actual stitch journaling card die from Lawn Fawn and cut that out from the shiny green paper. I also made that same color green paper, the matte behind this, and this apple paper is from, I believe it's from Michael's, from their open stock, cardstock. And then I cut the #1 teacher with the apple out at, I believe that's 2 inches, and then I cut her out at 2 3/4 of an inch. And then she has a little piece of paper in her hand. There was also a gray outline that you can do for the back, but I decided not to do that. So there's that, and you can see the detail in her cut. I actually gave her little heart earrings too, just to dress it up a little bit. And then on the inside, I stamped the greeting, "Thanks for a great year." And that comes from the stamp set, another Lawn Fawn stamp set. It's called A Good Apple. And I've never used this one before. I've actually done the chalkboard, but I never actually used it on a project. I kind of just, I did an embossed one just to see what it looked like. So I used this one, "Thanks for a good year." And I used the Stays on Jet Black ink and stamped the sentiment. So that's the third one. And then the final card was one that I did for my niece. Two of my nieces are going to be having their dance recitals in the end of June, but I'm going to be traveling for work a lot. I'm training people, and it's just going to be kind of chaos the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to get these done while I kind of had time. So this is for the younger of my two nieces, Isabella. and I made this card. Isn't it so cute? I'm in love with the way this turned out. See, she's popped up, little pop dots. So I also used the same Cricut cartridge, the Create a Friend, and it's from page 39 and 40. There's the two different cuts. So right here, the hairstyle is a little bit different, and I didn't like that hairstyle. So I actually went back and I used the Ice Dancer from page 35. I've used her hair. So this cartridge is a little bit like the Create a Critter or the, what's the other one? The Everyday Paper Dolls, where you can switch some of the accessories up. A lot of the hair and the bands and stuff like that you can switch up. So you just have to be careful. You just can't use this gray layer here if you decide to do a different hairstyle. So the first thing that I did was I cut her out at, I believe she's 3 inches tall. Or I'm sorry, 3.5 inches tall. That's what I did, 3.5 inches for this one. And I cut her, so I cut the number 20, the shadow 20, and the F2 plus 20, and the shift F2 plus 20 out, all at 3.5 inches. And I went back and cut the hair out at the same dimensions. And then for the stage, I took this Heidi Swap stamp, and this one is just her like wood green, and I inked it up with walnut stain and vintage photo. I just kind of dabbed it on, and then just took a scrap piece of white paper and stamped it out. But then to create the wood grain in it, I turned the image this way and then used my scoreboard and went down every, I think it was every 1/4 of an inch. And then what I did was I went every 1/2 inch and made marks down in every other plank. And after that was done, I went back in with tea-dye distress ink and colored over it. So I will make a video of this technique and show you how to do that at another time, but I just don't have time tonight to do that. But it's really cool because you can get a really nice wood grain effect. So if you ever need flooring for things, it's actually a really good option. And you don't need to break out your embossing machine to do that. So there's how I did the floor. And then the background for that, I used this Tim Holtz Alterations Sizzix die. Cut down the piece of paper to, I believe it's 4 by 4.5, ran it through my Cuttlebug, and then I took 2 colors of yellow distress ink, mustard seed and scattered straw, and colored in the background. So then once I had her all put together and I put her up against the background, her wand kind of blended in because of the yellows, and I didn't want to put, I was going to do like a glitter glue, and then I decided against it. So I decided to pop her up. And actually it looks really cool in person because she looks like she's jumping off the page and she's actually dancing. So it's really, really cool. And I was glad that I was able to pop dot it. It would be harder to mail this with a pop dot, so I'm just giving it to her, so it's no big deal. And then I used a stamp set that I've used before. This one's the Lucky Stars, and this one, You're a Star. So, and I also used the Harold's ABCs from Lawn Fawn to spell out her name. Her name's Isabella, and then You're a Star, and there's an exclamation point that comes with the stamp set, and you can use it to put after any of the sayings. So use that, and that's the card that I made for her. This was probably my favorite just because it's personalized, and I know that it's going to my niece, and I made the character look a little bit like my niece, so hopefully she will love it. So I know that's a lot of information. I know that's a lot of cards. I'm going to definitely make a technique video on how to do the floor, and if I don't, you guys keep me honest. Send me a note and tell me I need to make it because I will forget. And if you guys have any other comments or questions or want to see how I did anything in those videos, leave a comment below or send me a message, and feel free to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!